Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
We are doing 12 rounds 2, the second of a very weak WWE Studios franchise. I mean, let's be real about it.
Yeah.
The first one, while fun, action-packed, and energetic, was very much reminding us all what we already like, whether it's Speed or Die Hard or just classic action movies. Before we break down 12 Rounds 2, starring our Randall Keith Orton,
Randall Keith.
WWE superstar, I have something very important I need to talk to you about.
Oh, okay. What's up?
Not you specifically, you in the generic,
The
everyone sense. Yes. Which is my 68-page graphic novel, Everlasting Survivors, Volume 1, All Day Long, which is currently, now, on Indiegogo. There are 5 cover options. This is cover A, that is cover B. There are t-shirts and hats and posters, and everybody who makes a purchase, no matter what you get, will get a Gamble comic sticker. This is the brand new cover C option from Mr. Jeff Hicks, and this is cover E from February Ferdian. So thank you for your assistance, my man.
Yes,
That, selling books is the name of the game. That's why this channel exists. Now, let's get to the title of the episode, the WWE Studio Slam for 12 Rounds 2. Nick, the main character of this movie, played by Randy Orton, is out on a date with his wife, leaving the movies, and they see a car accident. Oh, what? Oh, so I'm notating some stuff down, and I realize when I look up that there are editing errors where Nick is trying to save the people that were in the car accident. He says to his wife, "Get the trauma bag." And he says, "Throw it to me."
For some context, he's a paramedic in this one.
Correct, yes. No cop. The lead is not a cop. Yeah, exactly. No police officers are harmed in the filming of this movie.
Just the paramedics.
But so he yells out to his wife, "Oh, throw me the trauma bag." She throws it to him, and the next thing we see her, she still got it because we didn't care enough to try that hard in this movie. So
whoever the continuity guy was got fired early on by Vince. He changed his mind, said he didn't need him.
I didn't need him. Yeah. Well, the thing is that I realized while continuing down the path of watching this movie, I was like, you know what I think would have lessened the blow of the inconsistencies of the open?
What? Please tell me.
Is if they were memories and not
Happening right now.
The happenings,
the
the present. If it was, let's say for instance, so spoiler to the third film, John Moxley's character of John Shaw, he had to undergo psychiatric evaluation before he could return to work as a cop.
Right.
So it could be the fact that I know that about his character, or the fact that I like Lethal Weapon, the TV show. You ever watch Lethal Weapon, the TV show?
Never saw the TV show.
Okay, so
I heard good things about it.
In the TV show, the main character has to often see a team shrink,
Okay.
or the cops, in-house,
Doctor.
head doctor, yeah.
Psychiatrist.
So I don't know whether it's that show or the third film in this franchise, but I was thinking, what if Nick, Randy Orton's character, was recounting to a counselor or anyone, maybe even his wife, just talking about the events, right? Trying to come to grips with the fact that he lost a patient unexpectedly because he didn't know that he was going to be at this car accident scene. And it could explain why that things are jumpy, and you could even cover up the error by having them go back to him talking, because it's easy to mix things up in your memory, especially a traumatic event.
Absolutely.
And so it was just an observation that I made where I thought it could be a way to cover it up. However, I think that that's just a little too thought out for this particular film. Reason being is that it's a very paint my numbers film, and don't get me wrong, the picture that they paint in the end is, I'm not gonna lie, it's
not a Picasso.
That's true. So there's a woman who dies in the car accident, and the man who hits her, he lives. Randy Orton's able to save him, or Nick, I mean, whatever. But
I'm gonna be honest, and this is just
no, that's good. That's good.
I don't remember anybody's name. I really don't. I remember the main characters. I remember Shaw in the other movie.
Yes.
And I remember Nick in this one.
Okay.
That's it.
So Heller is the name.
Everybody else blends together.
That's cool. So Heller is the name of the antagonist within this
the main
film.
villain. Okay.
And Miles was the antagonist in the first film.
Right. Okay, I do remember Miles.
Burke is the heel in the third film. So it goes Miles, Heller, Burke. Are the villains.
Okay.
I can't remember John Cena's name to save my life. So
you're looking at the wrong guy.
Often I just call him John Cena.
Yeah.
In the original film, but in this one I did notate that Orton's name is Nick. Although, just like John Cena, I kind of oscillate back and forth between calling him by the character name and by his real name because it's kind of hard not to see Randy Orton.
Yeah, to be fair, you've been calling him Randy Orton for, 15, 20 years now?
I've been watching his career since I knew he had one, so it'd be like 22, I think, 23.
Jesus Christ, he's been around that long?
Well, okay, so it's 2023, and he debuted in 2002? 2? So, yeah.
1, 2?
Oh,
I think 2.
Came to TV in 2002, yeah.
That's what it was, yeah.
Yeah.
So he was in OVW in 2000? Is that right?
2001, no, he had a very short stint. Yeah,
So he was only there a year?
So he's one of those people.
And they looked at him and said, yeah, this is our guy.
Well, it's not even just look. It's not just look. So Kurt Angle is one of those people that the business was like, oh, it's probably going to take him a minute to learn how to fall flat on his back because he's spent his whole life trying not to. And he's like, nah, I got this.
The exact opposite.
He's like, I got this, no problems. And Randy was another one of those people, and I think it's because he was raised in the wrestling business.
Yeah, of course.
That he was just like, oh
yeah,
I see it, I got it, yeah.
I've been watching my daddy do this for a while, so I think I know what I'm doing here.
So I know this is completely off topic of 12 rounds too, but
it was bound to happen.
Cowboy Bob Orton has been praised in the past with one of the things that I find so interesting, which is that he had to intentionally make mistakes in matches so that people didn't think that wrestling was fake. Because he was so smooth, he was so
good at everything.
So good at everything that they were like, I don't know, this wrestling, I'm starting to question whether it's legitimate or not.
I'm about to say he's hitting these a little too smooth. He's almost too good at his job.
Yeah, there were multiple people I heard say. Roddy Piper, I know, was one of them. That was like Bob Orton was too good at wrestling that he had to literally intentionally slip up to where people were like, oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, it's real.
He's not. Yeah, everything's all right.
He's not perfect.
But so as far as like I said, character names, I know that Orton's name is Nick and his wife's name is Sarah.
Got it.
But there are so many dumb characters in this movie.
Yeah.
The kid who caused the car accident, he's a dumbass.
Yeah.
A lot of the cops.
Most people who cause car accidents.
Well,
yeah, sure.
I meant like
just as a person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just meant like the way he's presented is like.
He's not too bright.
Yes,
he's
exactly. Not too bright.
It really stands out as you watch the film, like how.
So many times when cops show up, I'm like, "What are you guys even doing? You're dumb as."
Are you competent?
I'm not. I was convinced, and so who cares? Nobody cares that I'm jumping to the end. I was convinced that the lead detective guy was dirty.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Dirty or dumb.
Yeah.
Because every time he was doing stuff, I was like, "Are you dirty or are you dumb?" And what's revealed that he's so dirty that he got promoted by the governor.
Yeah.
The governor, yeah, who's the kid's daddy.
Yeah, good.
Or the guy who caused the accident's dad.
Whoever.
But anyway, the point is, like I said, the movie is it's a struggle. It's dark. It's not really all that compelling. Actually,
the characters aren't that engaging either.
So I realized something. So I made the observation when we first talked about 12 rounds, the first meeting. I was like, man, the folks who made this liked Speed and Die Hard, right?
Yeah.
It just felt right. And then upon doing research, I realized, well, they liked it so much they picked up the people who made those movies and said, hey, we know what we want, which is the things you've made before.
Hey, what you already did, do that here. We'll pay you.
Yeah, exactly. We got us a new actor. He's not Keanu and he's not Bruce, but hey, we got this guy. Make him our star. Yes. And so while I was watching this, have you ever seen Jamie Foxx and Gerard Butler's Law Abiding Citizen?
Yeah, yeah.
So that is a very good movie which subverts expectations and makes you question whose side you should be on, whether it's Jamie Foxx's prosecutor or Gerard Butler's vigilante.
Right.
This movie wants to be law-abiding citizen without any of the ambiguity. There's no question. There's no intrigue. It's just like
It doesn't make you think.
the Heller, the antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
He's out for revenge, like Gerard Butler's character in Law Abiding Citizen, but without any of the. I'm not okay.
Nuance
No,
or
not
substance.
yeah. Nuance is a great word, but so it's no knock on the actor. I think he executes the material well,
Fair.
but it's just. I think so. Definitely, lighting is terrible. Like we had better lighting in this room with 2 lights than they have in the entire movie. I swear
the Batman had better lighting in this movie.
which is saying a lot. That movie, like you had to turn up the brightness
so dark.
to realize there was somebody going on in the anything going on in the movie.
I got it.
This
If
thing
anybody was wearing
worse.
black, you wouldn't be able to see him.
It's like you're done.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over. But I don't know. Like it's not. It's crazy because I don't love John Cena. But I do. I did.
As an actor, period.
So I'm sure he's a fine human being. I assume, at least. I don't know. I've never met him. So
I mean, everything I hear about him says he is.
well, that's I can't say that. Kenny Dykstra, Alex Riley, Tyler Rex.
I'm talking about outside wrestling.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. So my beefs with John Cena aren't.
With him as a person.
Yeah, it's like. Early on, it was a struggle for me to separate what he's doing from who I know him to be.
Okay.
And that's not just a him thing. Like I had that problem with George Clooney and a handful of other people, where I'd be like, all I see is you talking to me on the news, right? Because George Clooney in the '90s, like I felt like late '90s, early 2000s was like always out there. Leonardo DiCaprio's known where he'd be like, I just got off my jet, but you gotta stop using that gasoline. And I'm like, come on, man, shut up. And now John never was preachy, but it was like I couldn't stop seeing him in the jorts, right?
Yeah.
And that was kind of my issue with him. Now, granted, he's moved past that, and I think a lot of it's due to the fact that he's not on wrestling every week.
Yeah, that definitely helps.
But in this,
I mean, to be fair, I love John Cena.
But, exactly. But and I loved a John Cena.
Period of John Cena.
So when he was on the rise, I was with him. But when they made him plateau, that's not even the right word. He was at the absolute pinnacle peak, but when all of his edges were rounded off, that's when I was like, what are we doing? Like one SmackDown, he's ending with a curse word, throwing up the mic and letting the crowd say it. The next Raw, he's all like, shh, I'm a good boy. I've never said a bad word in my life.
He becomes a Boy Scout overnight, yeah.
And I was like, that's when I got turned off. I was off the John Cena train. But anyway, that's divergent from
PG Cena.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, PG wrestling really kind of soured me as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I always need the blood, guts, and gore and the whatnots.
Right.
I want the option to be available if the story dictates.
If it makes sense.
But anyway, I keep
back to Randall.
Okay. I'm gonna wrap this thing quick because this movie, 2 out of 5, it's dark, it's ugly, it's plotting, it's not good, is my overall opinion. Like I can't really I can't go into any extra detail. Does anything jump out to you? Like Tom. Tom was the name of the governor's kid, but it's
okay.
I don't know.
I was really trying to figure out.
Nothing stood out.
Yeah. So I got the plot synopsis here, and I'm just trying to remember anything from the movie. I'm like, yeah, okay, that was pretty good, or it was just. It was a movie. Like it was definitely.
I would say, just personally, I feel like it was forgettable. Like
that's a great word.
Had it not been in the 12 rounds. And speaking of that, another complaint I have about this movie, right? And I will say next time we do the WWE Studio Slam with John Moxley's 12 rounds 3 lockdown, I love that they changed what the 12 rounds represented.
Yeah.
Because in this, it represented a game not unlike the first one, just not executed as well.
Right.
Whereas in the third one, it represents the number of rounds that John Moxley's character, has for his gun.
Yeah.
And when he's counting down, okay, 8 rounds left, 6 rounds left, 4 rounds left, it holds a different weight and carries a different context. Whereas this one, whenever it's, we're in round 8, 7, whatever, it doesn't matter.
21, who
yeah.
cares?
It was like, why are we retreading the same thing? And I don't know, too many times within this, it felt like it was a retread. That was another reason why I thought the 1 year later would have, if done differently, like as memories instead of just jumping in time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, if we'd have done memories, then it wouldn't be just like the first one. If the game was different, or wasn't even a game at all, but I don't know how they could do 12 rounds without it being a game, or bullets.
Yeah.
Because the change to bullets, spectacular. Love that change.
It was good. It was memorable. It was a memorable.
Absolutely. And anyway, what was your overall ratings, or if you've got anything else you would like to say about the thing?
Yeah, I'd give it a 1.
Okay.
I would literally never watch it.
It failed. Yeah, failed. Yeah.
So I will say, Randy put in a good effort. I never thought he was particularly bad in this film. I just think he had nothing to work with.
I don't think it was him. Exactly. Yeah.
Actor.
Well, and I feel the same way about whoever was playing Heller. I think he did good with what he was given. It was just what you were given wasn't
good.
Yeah, exactly.
As it all. Yeah, so I think those two in particular are the two that stick out. Like, so Randy and Heller's actor.
Yes.
I think did a good job of what they had. It's just they didn't have much to work
exactly.
with.
Well, and so yeah, I can't argue with your 1 at all. Have you ever? I'm gonna just put it out there. So I'm not looking forward to watching an upcoming WWE Studios film called Buddy Games. Have you ever seen that?
I haven't.
It's on Hulu right now.
Okay.
And I was so jazzed. I was so pumped. I was hyped. I was like, oh my God, I want to watch this movie so bad.
What is it?
Well, have you ever seen the movie Tag starring Jeremy Renner?
Yeah.
It's that, but not good.
Oh.
And so
That sucks because I like Tag.
Oh, Tag is really good, right?
Yeah.
But Buddy Games is terrible. It stars Olivia Munn.
Okay.
What's the dude's name from Psych? Do you know that? You know Psych, right?
Yeah, I know.
So
like,
the
star,
the
star,
the star, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's
don't remember his name, but I know.
Dak Shepard's in it. I love Dak Shepard.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Great guy. They're like 2, 3, 4 other people. One of Adam Sandler's buddies is in this thing, right? One of the guys who's in everything, right?
Need to narrow that.
Right, I know. So it's not Rob Schneider. Anyway, the point is, the cast had me hyped, and I was like, oh, I can tell.
Good collection of
I can
people.
tell from the trailer. This wants to be Tag. WWE's all about ripping stuff off. I was like, yeah. I was so pumped. I was so pumped, right? I popped this thing on.
Disappointment immediately.
Boring. That's the problem. It's boring, and so it's coming. This movie's coming, but that's the reason, because I've watched this thing. That's the reason I couldn't give this a 1, because at least there was something worth my time in this. And like the Buddy Games movie was so bad, I was like, this thing might be worse than Wicker Man. And have I told you this story? So when I was deployed to Iraq, me and all these guys who were over there, and there were rocket propelled grenades coming at us, and just all kinds of scorching heat and unpleasantries. It was an inside joke that we would say, man, today's bad, but it's not as bad as Wicker Man.
Jesus. I think, now that I'm thinking about it, I think you did something that one time. But it's so funny.
So yeah, it's a great gag. But my thing is, like, I think that I may dislike Buddy Games more than I do Wicker Man, because I went into it wanting it to be so good. I was like, oh, I love these people.
You actually had hope, and it snatched it away.
Oh, yeah, exactly. You can't do that to me. It hurts. So, I gave it a 2. He gave it a 1. Don't watch 12 Rounds 2.
I mean, listen, unless you're trying to torture somebody, or this is the punishment for not getting good grades or something like that. Like it's not a movie.
It serves a purpose.
Yeah.
In that way, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's not a movie I personally would sit down and watch because I didn't watch it the first time around. I had no interest in it. But yeah,
well, it's funny. So I
Yeah.
sought out the movie when it came out because
Yeah, because wasn't it direct to DVD?
It was, yeah. But I thought that 12 Rounds was superior to The Marine. And so when 12 Rounds 2 was announced, and I like Randy Orton, so I sought it out and I bought it, and I was like, oh, what is wrong with me?
Yeah, because when did this come out? 2008, 9?
Actually, I wrote it down. It came out in 2012.
Really?
Yes. So,
Dang, I was real off then.
That's okay. So, 12 Rounds 2 came out in 2012. But join us next time that we do the WWE Studio Slam when we talk about the 2015 film 12 Rounds 3 Lockdown.